Hey everyone, it's me, Alli. But today I'll be Alli the Target. I really love Elden Ring, and I can't wait for the DLC Shadow of the Earth Tree, which is coming later this month. So we gotta prepare and be ready for it. Yep, it looks like if you buy it, you might not be able to play it until you get to beat certain boss. I already had many playthroughs, so I choose one where I'm in the second half of the game. In short, for the first half of the game, you gotta defeat 2 main bosses from 5 in the game, and then defeat 3 great bosses in the capital. Once you've done that, you get to the second half of the game. You try to get inside the Elder Tree, but fail, since it's too strong, so you have to travel through a snowfield, and then at the end you'll be able to damage the Earth Tree enough to finally get inside and defeat the final boss. I'm not going to damage the Earth Tree yet, because I want to keep Melina with me and see if there's lore or other hidden dialogue in these deals. Now, the boss that I have to defeat is Mohg, the Lord of Blood. He can be easy or hard to get to him. It depends of which option you choose. The 2 options that I know are: number 1, you go to the Maidenless guy and start his quest. You invade some people, and then he gives you an item that teleports you directly to Mohg's palace. Or number 2, you have to find a very small portal that will teleport you close to the palace, but that portal is very hard to get and it's hidden. So, obviously we know which option is the easiest, so I'm going for the opposite and choose the second option. Also, I need some preparation. Not exactly for the boss Mohg, but more for the DLC. They say the bosses are as hard as Melania. I have enough emotional damage from the last times I battled that bitch. I didn't prepare properly, so I at least had 60 or more attempts to finally beat her. So I'm going to gather items, armors, weapons, and resources to upgrade my damage output. What am I doing first? Well, time to get some weapons. These weapons are either really strong or my personal favorite. I already have most of those weapons. I only need to gather 2 more. One is the Dragon Halberd. To go over there, you have to defeat General Radahn. Then, defeat the Mimic Deer. And then, you follow this path, which is quite simple to follow. Just drop delicately and don't be like me. Once you get to this place, it's time to defeat the Dragon King Soldier. Another weapon I wanna get is the Blasphemous Blade, but I can't do it right away. I need to invade and defeat many NPCs first so I can get some armors and weapons that could be handy in the future. I only need to defeat one last NPC, but I have to continue traveling and get to the Forbidden Lands. It's not a difficult trick, but there is an optional boss that I wanted to defeat. This is one of none other than the Black Blade Kindred. Unfortunately, I defeated the boss in my first attempt. So it's time to continue and get to the Grand Lift of World, an elevator that is going to be very important later. But for now, I hoist the medallion and travel to the mountain tops of the giants. Here I touch a grace, so I can teleport back later. I talk to this guy for a while and decide to try my luck in the sewers of Lindale. Now, why will I teleport back to the capital? Well, there's a hidden boss deep in the sewers. To get to him, you have to travel through many tight corridors where you can easily get attacked, surprised, or overwhelmed. And besides that, the sewers are a complex labyrinth where you can easily get lost if you haven't played the game before, if you don't pay close attention, or if you don't follow a playthrough. In my case, I already played this game before, so it's not that bad for me. Once you get here, you use this elevator, and you did it! You found a hidden boss. This boss is called Mohg. Yep, he's almost the same boss I want to defeat. But this isn't the real Mohg. This one is usually nicknamed Fake Mohg or Sewers Mohg. I want to fight him for two reasons. One, I wanted to see how good or bad I can handle him, since he uses many similar movements that the real Mohg does. And two, because he is guarding a chest with a talisman I really like and I want to have. I defeated him on my third attempt, and I got the talisman Air 3 Favor 1, which gives me more health, stamina, and equip load. Also, here is the entrance of the Frenzy Flame. Melina even tells you to please desist. It's understandable because this is the bad ending of Elden Ring.
I ask that you cease. It is not to be meddled with. It is chaos, devouring life and thought unending. However ruined this world has become, however mired in torment and despair, life endures. Births continue. There is beauty in that. Is there not? If you would become Lord, do not deny this notion. Please, leave the frenzied flame alone.
I don't like to claim the flame, but I had done it before. But because of certain story events that technically happen if you do take certain decisions. But that's a story for another day. Right now, it's time to get other items that will help me a lot to defeat the real Mohg. First, you have to get to this church. Here, you'll get invaded. So you have to defeat this NPC, which it gives you the Purifying Crystal tier. This item is going to be very important later. For now, I return to the mountain top of the giants. I defeat a small mini-boss and get close to one of the main objectives if you want to get to Mohg. This is the castle of Commander Neil. I have to defeat him to get to Mohg. But I really want to finish the invasions of Volcano Manor to get my armors and weapons. So I continue this quest and keep invading some enemies. This is one of the hardest and tedious invasions from Volcano Manor. After finally completing all the invasions, it's time to face the main boss of Volcano Manor. I buy everything I need, I take the Serpent Hunter, the weapon that is the main weakness against it, I upgrade it a bit, and finally it's time to face the God-devouring Serpent. He is an optional boss, but it gives you the sword I really want, the Blasphemous Blade. Bad news about this boss, he has a second face, and he turns into Rykard, Lord of Blasphemy. The good news are, he isn't a hard boss, he's more of a spectacle boss.
Very well. Join myself and King as remedy. Together we will devour the very god.
After defeating this boss, it's time to face Commander Neil. I unfortunately get surprised by a dead-right bird and it kills me. Since I cannot live with this humiliation, I decide to kill it in my third attempt. I continue and get inside the castle, which it has a cold welcome. At least getting to Commander Neil isn't too hard. I went straight to fight him, which I managed to defeat him in my second attempt. Now, finally we can get our main objective. The item that we need, it's not given by Commander Neo. It's at the end of his castle. The other half of the Halic Tree's secret medallion. Something I really wanted to do before entering the consecrated snowfields was to defeat some major bosses and gather some more resources for the spirit summons. I won't be using one for the battle against Mohg, but I'll probably be using it for the DLC if the bosses get too difficult. So it's time to head towards the fire giant. Before getting to it, I face Borealis, the freezing fog. It's not a difficult boss if you use Torrent, and it's optional to defeat. It still took me 3 attempts to kill it. Fortunately, getting to the fire giant is more straightforward, with the small exception of getting invaded by Yokina, or the guy that wields the katana Rivers of Blood. And it was at a very awkward moment. Finally, it's time to defeat the fire giant, an enemy that is surprisingly easy or hard. Usually the best way to defeat it is to stay in his feet and to use Torrent frequently. I defeated him in my first attempt, but it was a double KO. But hey, it's done! I killed him! I just get back my runes, touch the grace, and level up. This is where I stop with the main quest, or else I will lose Melina. Time to go somewhere else, a place I really dislike and was postponing for a while. The Lake of Rot, a swamp that will give you Scarlet Rot. Scarlet Rot is like poison, but much powerful. At least I have an incantation that gets rid of the Scarlet Rot and other poison. Once you travel through the full swamp, you get very close to a strong boss. Just drop a few times, get inside a coffin, and you get to it. This is Astel, natural born of the void. Fortunately, I beat him at my first attempt. But the unfortunate part is that I can't continue through the tunnel. You have to do Ranni's questline to be able to go through there. Which I know how to do, but the problem is that it's impossible for me to do it. I technically did let Vlad die, a character that is very important for her quest. What happened? Well, I was going through Siofra River, and the enemies nearby started attacking me, and I was trying to talk to Blade, so I wanted to see what happened if I let them attack Blade. Well, since he isn't being attacked by the player, then he won't defend himself. So, he's dead now. And here is where he should be standing. Oh.
I'm Shadowbound.
Okay, he's still alive. Maybe I can still save this quest. There is one strong spirit and a strong greatsword that I could get if I managed to finish this quest. Now, the only way to still be able to talk to him or continue this quest is to go to the Church of Vows. You only use a celestial dew, and all the NPCs that are still alive forgive you for your sins. So it's time to go and talk to Rani. Give her the Finger Slayer blade, and she would appear near this waterfall. Time to talk to a small doll, and insist for 3 times in a row. She then gives me a target to kill, which is Blade, although now it's called the Baleful Shadow. Is he evil or something? The point is, you have to defeat him.
Thou art the last. Tell the 2 fingers that Ron the Witch cometh to rend thy flesh with a fateful wound, ne'er to heal. Beautifully fought. My thanks. 'Twas more of a challenge than I envisioned.
Then go where Anala is and grab the Dark Moon Ring. Now that I have this ring, I can continue my journey where Astel was defeated. I defeat a dragon. This one is a bit difficult, but not by much. Go inside this cathedral, then through this tunnel, and I marry Rani? Since I marry her, I can finally get the legendary weapon, the Dark Moon Greatsword. Only one thing left to do. Get the strongest spirit in the game. If you defeat her, you get her spirit. And mission complete. That was the last thing I wanted to do before going straight for the consecrated snowfield. You remember the elevator we used to get to the mountain top of the giants? Well, now you use the secret medallion to go somewhere else. You get here, a tricky dungeon, if it's your first time here. You follow the path, do some leap of fates, and you get to the boss of this place, which is another mimic deer. Once you're done with it, you can get out and straight into the consecrated snowfield. Now that we are finally here, it's time to go to...
It is I, Natenna. We have reached the land of Mikla's Halig Tree, where Lobo and I began our travels. It's entirely thanks to you that I'm so close to home. These great snow-laden lands stretch far to the north, and beyond the ancient bowers, in the liturgical town of Ordina, lies the place to which I must return.
To fulfill Athena's wish. Before we get to our grace, we get attacked a lot, and these enemies are not messing around. This one hit like a truck. or more like a dragon. I get the map and almost immediately got invaded by Anastasia. Which is something good. Why is it good? Well, when we defeat her, she drops one of the few somber ancient dragons meeting stones. Try to say that 5 times fast. Now I can finally upgrade one of my main weapons to the maximum. But I'm not doing it until I beat Mohg. I travel more to the north, touch some graces, and from here I can go more to the northwest and find a mausoleum. But this one is the hardest one to pacify, and you can see why. But once I calm the mausoleum, we are safe. I finally get inside the apostate derelict, and we get a prompt to summon Latina. And after some dialogue, she gives me another somber ancient dragon's meeting stone. Time to finally go to the teleporter. From here, you only move to the south, and eventually you can find the teleporter. But before being able to get in, we have to deal with another invasion. It is not a big deal, so I continue my journey through the portal. And we did it! This is the Mohg Palace. I walk a bit, and we find the best grace in the game for leveling up. All these enemies give you a ton of runes. I'm going to ignore most of the enemies and go straight to the palace. Be careful with these giant skeletons. They are not messing around. Here is the easy part. Most of the enemies are passive. Just stay focused, and the few enemies that are aggressive shouldn't be a problem. Even in this dark cave, the enemies are tolerable. Once I finally get out of this cave, the last grace is here. I collect another somber ancient dragon's meeting stone, and time to prepare for Mohg. This is finally the end until I finally come back when the DLC drops. I wanted to experiment a bit with Mohg's battle, so I equipped some different incantations, I changed my wondrous physic mix, and I add the perfect crystal tier. This is important because it almost nullifies the curse that Mohg puts you in the middle of the fight. I prepare Mohg Shackle, and my main weapon against him is going to be the Dragon Halberd.
Dearest Mikola, you must abide alone a while. Welcome, honored guest, to the birthplace of our dynasty.
In my first fight, I tried to give him Scarlet Rot, but it took all my FP, so it wasn't worth it. So I died for it. The next time, I tried to see if using more frequently the Dragon Halberd ability was good to deal damage. It kinda was, but Mohg moves too much to fully use the ability. After dying 3 more times and learning his moves, I noticed that I was having a bit of lag as I recorded the fight. So I stopped the recording and used the Xbox record for the final battle, which it finally looked like this.